In today's episode of Games with T, we are talking about must-have Nintendo Switch games. Or are they really must-have? Well, in this episode, I'm going to take a look at some games, give you my opinions, and then from there you can decide whether these games are absolutely must-have for you, or perhaps you want to pass on them. So let's start off this episode with everybody's favorite princess, Princess Peach Showtime. After watching numerous trailers and seeing a lot of the Nintendo coverage on their directs, etc., I really didn't know what to expect from this game. It wasn't really clear what type of game this was going to be. Well, now that I've played some of it, I can kind of understand what the title is. It's a 2.5D sort of action platforming, hack and slash, and sort of a thematic game, if that makes sense. Basically, you go around different rooms, change into different themes, and basically do activities related to those themes. Kind of hard to explain, a really cool concept. So the question is this game a must-have? And that is kind of hard to answer, because this game is unique enough to where it offers a little different perspective, a little different gameplay style, but it's also rather simplistic, and perhaps may not be everybody's cup of tea. So, what I would say is try out the demo. There's a demo available online, and if you do like it, then perhaps this game is for you. For me, I'm enjoying my time with it. Up next, we're taking a look at a compilation of arcade shmups, and who doesn't like those? We're talking about the Psikyo Collection Volume 1. Psikyo Collection Volume 1 comes with Strikers 1945, Soul Divide, you have Samurai Aces, and you also have Gunbird. I really enjoyed Gunbird and Soul Divide, one being a vertical shmup, the other being a horizontal, but I kind of like them. They're kind of old school, arcadey, hard as heck games that really are a little bit of a time waster, for lack of a better term, but it's really fun to go through them, try to get a high score, and just overall try to beat your own score or record. When it comes to this particular package, not necessarily a bad deal. However, these games are old and I'm sure you can access them elsewhere. So, kind of a must-have if you've never played them, but if you've played them elsewhere, then perhaps a pass. Next up, I wanted to talk about a visual novel, Inescapable, No Rules, No Rescue. Now, we've been getting a lot of these types of games, kind of a offshoot of Danganronpa, if you will. We got Process of Elimination, we got Operation Raincoat, I believe it was called. We also got some of the AI Somnium File games. They all kind of fit that similar bill where you're sort of investigating a murder, stuck in a place where you don't really want to be, etc., etc. Inescapable is an interesting title. It is trying to be Danganronpa, but it doesn't really quite hit the mark. Having said that, I kind of like this game. However, it is a very long, drawn-out, slow-paced visual novel. If you do not like visual novels, you're not going to enjoy this game. Plus, when you do start this game, you have to give it its due time. It takes a while before things get going. And honestly, the opening dialogue, the opening few days that you spend on this island are kind of boring, to be honest. And some of the characters, their dialogue is going to start to sound annoying. But eventually, things get better. So if you have the patience, if you're into visual novels, then perhaps Inescapable may be a solid title for you to check out.
This is shit.
Let's talk about Road 96 for a second. I really like this indie title. And the reason why I like it so much is its uniqueness. The game kind of, focuses on these political stereotypes, which I don't really care about too much, nor do I like to see them in gaming. But what I really enjoyed about the game itself is the fact that you, as the character, you are rather insignificant. So the game tells the story by your interactions. So basically the characters that you interact with on random basis at times are really what the story is. They progress the story. And I think that is a really, really unique way of experiencing a game. So this game is your typical adventure style of game with some puzzle elements, but it's really where the story is really cool and unique, and also the characters are kind of cool in this game. If you want to play something totally different from, say, the regular games that you've been playing, definitely check out Road 96.
Find someone to film this, and now! You know how important this is to it!
Where am I gonna find a loser to... Hey!
Speaking of different games, let's talk about Sayonara Wild Hearts. Of most of the indie games that I'm highlighting over here, or the ones that I've played on the Switch in general, this has to be one of my favorite ones. I absolutely love Sayonara Wild Hearts, and I really cannot even explain what the game is. It's kind of an on-rails action platformer, if you will, a lot of quick-time events, but really the highlight of the game is the visual style. The music, the soundtrack is outstanding. There is a story element to this as well, but it's really about getting high scores in the levels, getting those gold medals, and like I've mentioned with some of the other games over here on this list, it is a really unique title, but if there's one must-have game, must-play game on this list, this is it. Sayonara Wild Hearts. Do not miss out on this one. Well, let's save the best for last, shall we? Let's talk about DreamWorks All-Star Kart Racing. Okay, maybe not the best for last. This game will make you appreciate Mario Kart more than any other game on this list, or any game for that matter. When I started playing it, I immediately saw just how bad this game was. From the terrible dialogue, to the terrible graphics, to the boring gameplay, to basically the racing and the AI, which is pretty much brain dead, this was not a fun game at all. Like I said, the frame rate is pretty terrible too. I think I mentioned that, but if I didn't, bad frame rate as well. If there is one game that you definitely want to avoid, it is DreamWorks All-Star Kart Racing. Don't do it. You have been warned.
Gotcha, puss!
And with that, we end our quote-unquote must-have Nintendo Switch games. What are some of the Nintendo Switch games that you've been playing? Do let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.